I doubt anything would happen though, but nonetheless. Finance. Okay. So yesterday we did 1.3, and then today we want to do 1.4. How did you guys find 1.4? Hectic.
It was decent, but challenging.
It was hectic. It was decent. I think it was decent. I think it was better than 1.3 in my honest opinion.
No.
I honestly think it was better. Okay. So for now, I'll just hide that there whilst we get into it. Actually, let me label this. WFL. Let's do that. Right. Okay. So let's go to the question and see what's actually going on over there before we try and answer it. Okay. 1.1.1.4. Okay. So under the required, it's the same as 1.3. They're saying prepare the monthly cash budget. And something I didn't reiterate yesterday, which might be fairly obvious, but a cash budget is very different from an income statement, isn't it? All right. And I might as well say it now because it's on the top of my mind. I'm scared I might forget it later, which is why, again, we know that depreciation is a non-cash expense, right? So we don't include it because here we're doing the cash budget, okay? So I just wanted to reiterate that before we actually jump into it for fear of forgetting. Okay, but that's it. So this time we're dealing with, okay, let me just read it actually. Prepare the monthly cash budget for the period January to March 2008. Okay. Tudo operates a cash sale store. All right. Management expect the next 3 months from January to March to demand some unusual cash flows. A cash budget of 106,764 is currently on hand. Okay, so what are they letting us know about that? That 106,764. What is that 106,764?
A balance.
It's a balance. What balance is it? Yes, you guys are jumping to the answer, which is 100% correct. It is your bank balance. There they said what? Cash balance on hand. Okay, so that means this is the cash that we have. But 100%, that is your bank balance, your opening bank balance. Okay, right. Then point 1, it says sales for December. All right, 1,339,200. Okay, then total sales forecasts for January. You have it there. February, you have it there. March, you have it there, and you have April. Okay. All right. So those are your total sales estimates. Okay. And remember, we're only doing January to March. Okay. Then point 3, 40% of all sales are on credit and are collected in the month following the sale. Interesting. What are they saying over there? 40% of all sales are on credit. So we then know how much are on cash. 60% is on cash.
Sales, you receive the money that if you sold this month, you receive the money next month from your credit.
100%. That's exactly it. Okay. Then, point 4. cost of goods sold averages 75% of sales. See, again here, they didn't say credit sales, they didn't say cash sales, they just said sales. Inventory purchased during each month averages the cost of sales for the following month. Okay? I want to pause there. What are they saying? Inventory purchased during each month averages the cost of sales of the following month. English.
So isn't it the cost the inventory you purchased this month is balancing the cost of sales for next month?
I'd even just say equal to.
Yeah.
100% is equals to your cost of sales for next month. How do we know our cost of sales for next month? We know that our cost of sales is based off of the total sales. So we'll look at the total sales of next month, and then we'll come down and say 75% of that is the cost of sales for the next month. Yes.
What would be the reason for that? Was there, okay, maybe there was stock left over, or how does it work?
Well, it could be anything. I think in this question they actually say there's no opening and closing. I don't know if they say that, but they haven't told us about any opening and closing in this question. So maybe they're just trying to inform us that you make the purchases of the inventory you'll need next month, this month, potentially. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. All purchases are on credit. 50% of the purchases are paid in the month in which the purchase was made. All right. And the other 50% is paid in the following month. Okay. 50% in the month that the purchase was made, and then the other 50% in the following month. All purchases are on credit. Operating expenses are projected as follows. Okay, all right, maybe we'll get into that. Let's just quickly do the schedule, and then point 5 will be assisting us with the budget. Okay, yes, with the cash budget. Thank you for that. Okay, so again, my whole purpose is here is just to explain, because again, we've dealt with this last semester, we dealt with this yesterday, so I am sure we'll be feeling a little bit more confident about the schedules. Okay, so first things first, I want us to just focus solely on the receipts schedule. Okay, and again, the whole focus there is not only the credit sales, but also the cash sales. Okay, so they told us what? What did they tell us?
40% of all sales are on credit.
40% is on credit. What else? They gave us the estimated sales for every month.
Yeah.
So this is where you would start. This is where you would start, isn't it? To just plug in those budgeted sales for every month. Then you would go on to say, to work out the cash and credit, okay? I would actually start with working out the credit, all right? So what do we know? 40% of all sales are on credit and are collected in the following month, okay? So that means, how much credit sales do we have in January? How did we get this? Oh, sorry. We want, you could actually start with either or. You could actually start with either or.
Well, you know the other one is 40%. So
Yeah.
I mean, 60, cash is 60, credit is 40.
But I would start with the credit because I would start with it, but you can start anyway.
669, 600 times by 40%, you get the 267, 840.
Yes, 100%. And this is the credit sales in January. Okay. Is everybody following?
Yeah.
So he just took the 669,600 times it by 40% to get January's credit sales, which is this 200 here, isn't it? Okay. Right. Then we do the same for, yes? Yes?
Seeing as we obviously paying the credit sales, right?
Not paying, receiving.
Okay, we're receiving, okay, are collected in the following
Month, yes.
following the same. Why are we recording it under the month that the sale took place?
So remember, I'm selling to you in January, but you're only paying me in February.
So that won't affect. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's just you are making the cash, I'm receiving the cash there.
Sure.
Yeah. Good question. Okay. Good question. Because obviously, that's why I was saying I would start with the credit sales because your mind is fixated on how much have I sold on credit that month. Okay. So anyway, let's continue. So again, we do the same thing. We then take this 892, right? And then we times it by 40, and that's how we get the 357. We take the 781, 200, and that's how we get the times it by 40, and that's how we get the 312, isn't it? Okay, so now you have your credit sales, right? We know how much we have sold on credit, okay? And this obviously we got from same thing, 40% of December sales, okay? Why did we look at December? Is because we know we're only receiving December's money in January. Does that make sense? So we need to know how much we sold on credit, okay? So maybe before you go on to calculate how much you would have received, right, it would now be probably ideal to then go to the cash sales, okay? Again, you could start with either or. I'm just saying in my mind, it would be easier to start with the credit. So then I would go here, right? I'd then say 60% of the sales of that month were cash sales, all right? 60% of the total sales, okay? So 60 times that, that's how we got our 401. Everybody happy? Okay, so I won't go through the other amounts there. Now, the next step is to then say, okay, cool. So how much did we receive on credit from our debtors each month? Okay, and remember what they said in the question? They said you receive everything in the following month. Okay, so that means that December, what we got in December, we then receive in January. Okay, what we got in January, we then receive in, guys, are we still waking up? February, yes. And then obviously what we received in February, we received in March. Okay, everybody happy? All right, but we know that's not the total revenue that we received. Those were just the money we received each month from our debtors. We still need to add our actual cash sales, okay, for that quarter, okay? So obviously January cash sales plus your revenue that you received from your debtors, that's how we're getting now the 937. Okay, that's how we're getting the February, same thing, and then obviously March, same thing. Okay, everybody happy with that? Okay. Any questions before we move on? Yes. Can't hear you, sorry. How do I get the total again? Okay, so we're saying, let me do this. Okay, that's going to be too much work. It's fine. So again, remember this table is about your total receipts from sales. In other words, the total cash or total money that we have received from our sales. So the total money that we've received from sales would be, as Ash has explained, would then be, how much cash sales did we get? 669,000. All right. How much did we receive from our debtors in the month of January? It was 535,000. You add those two together, and then you should get the
Total receipts.
The total receipts. Sorry, I was highlighting the total sales. I was highlighting the total sales. I should have been highlighting the cash sales. I think maybe that might be why you might have been asking the question. Sorry.
So did we get a formula sheet?
Yes, I was highlighting the total budgeted sales. I'm trying to get white to erase that. Yeah, so let me, yes?
Will we be getting a formula sheet in any of our tests?
No, no formula sheet. No formula sheet. Okay, sorry. This is proving to be more difficult than I imagined, but this is what we should be adding to this here. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, all right, so that's how we got our schedule of receipts. We then come down to obviously do our schedule of payments. Schedule of payments. Then with the schedule of payments, we go back to point 4, all right? They told us that cost of goods sold averages 75% of sales. So again, we're going to need to use sales. So you see the top line there? We've got our sales plugged in, our estimated sales for all of them, isn't? Then to find out the cost of sales in each month, you then say 75% of the sales, and there you go, you've got that, okay? So that's your first step. The next thing we know is that all of our purchases is on credit, isn't? 100% on credit, okay? 50% is paid in the current month that we made the purchases, and then 50% is paid in the following. So here you can obviously see, let me bring it down, I'm too short for this. All right, here you can see that 1,004,000, 50% of that gives us the 502,000, okay? So we're paying for that in the current month. Then in the following month, can you see what? Payment in the following month?
Which is supposed to be January. Where did you get the 334 stuff?
Wait, give me a second here. Oh, sorry, this 50% payment in month of purchase.
What is that 669?
This
total.
yeah, payment in the month. Okay, so January 75%. Okay. So this is coming from December.
No, so that 251,100 is your 75% from January.
Yes.
251,100.
6%.
Yeah.
1,709,000 divided by 2. It gives us the 669,600. It's half of the total sales.
Sorry, you're losing me.
The 1.3 million divided by 2.
The 1.3 million divided by 2.
Gives us the month, the purchases for that month. Remember, they said it's half of the previous month. That's when you said the average.
Cost of sales is 75% of sales. Okay, so we've got those. And then 50% of purchases are paid in the month in which the purchase was made, and the other 50% is paid in the following month. Okay, so you guys are saying what? Take me through this slowly.
That first step is correct. So that 1,339,200.
Yes.
75% of that is 1,004,400.
So your cost of sales
So
is
your
fine.
cost of sales there is fine. Then
Yeah.
50% in that month is 502,200.
100%, I'm with you there.
50% of that has to go to the following month.
Yes, which is this. Yes. Okay, so we're together. So I think this is what is wrong. Right?
No. But surely shouldn't that farm other remaining farmers?
So you're saying I take this sales times it by 75, I get this, isn't it? Okay. And then when we have that, we're then saying 50% of the of that is paid.
It's 250. That's supposed to be 2, but that's wrong.
This 502.
Yeah, surely if you pay 50% in this month, sir, and you're paying the other 50% next month for December, right? So
Yeah.
surely in January, shouldn't it be 502,200 as well there?
Let's do this with our calculators just to verify. Because I'm with you guys up until this point. I'm wondering how are they getting this 50% in the. I think they're adding these two, which is fine. Oh yeah. Sorry guys. I just want us to make sure we are. Okay, so I'm just taking this a step back. So this 669, 600, we then times by 0.75, and we get the 502. All right, we're happy with that. Okay. So that 502, 50% of that is going to give you this. Okay, but now my question then being, we already have another 502 that must be paid, right? In the following month, isn't it? So where is that 502?
The payment for following month says another line. In this month we are paying 334. You guys are confused.
So the 502.
Yes.
200. In the following month, we're only paying 50% of the previous payment that we made. So
Okay.
502 200 times 50% will give you 251 100. You
purchases
wrote over there above the monthly cash budget.
I wrote it where?
Over there. Monthly cash budget. There.
Monthly cash budget.
But it says
No.
On top.
It says the other 50%.
You see, that's what's confusing me now.
It says the other 50%, so it's saying that the remaining 50% is paid in the following month.
That's how you would read it, but that's not how the textbook says to me. That's the only issue. Because I would take 502, put it
Cost of sales averages
averages
75% of sales. Inventory purchase during the month averages cost of sales of the following month. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I see where we're going wrong here. Because the challenge that we're trying to figure out is this. Where is that coming from? Does that make sense?
It's coming from February.
It's coming from February. You see? So what's happening here, or let me say it like this. This amount here is 50% of February's amount. Is that making sense?
Not 50%, it's 75%.
Yeah, no, we already have 75%, or we've got the cost of sales, isn't it?
The one that you have is 75%.
Yes, it's 75%, but okay. Work with me here. Just hear what I'm saying. Okay, let's go back to the question, right? It says cost of sales, cost of goods sold averages 75% of sales, isn't it? So we know cost of sales is 75% of sales. So again, what we need to do is first work out this bit here, all right, which we said earlier. We've done that for every month, right? Then we see here, it says inventory purchase during each month averages the cost of sales of the following month. Does that make sense? So basically, we're saying this 502 is coming from when? January. Can you see that? And this 6 is coming from February. And this is coming from March. Can you see that? So inventory, again, I'm going to read it again. Inventory purchase during each month averages the cost of sales for the following month. Okay, we're happy there, right? And that's why they gave us April's sales. So if you wanted, you could also plug in April's amount here. So you've got 892. Okay, what is 75% of? 669 800. 600. Okay, thank you, Ash. All right. Then, can you see again? April's is coming in there. Okay. Now, what else do they go on to tell us? They say, all purchases are on credit. Okay. 50% of the purchases are paid in the month. All right. So 50% of this 669 is then this. All right. And it's paid in the month. And then the other half, this is what Thomas and I were rattling our minds around, is then paid in the next month. Can you see that now? All right. So again, this 200, this, I think all of us were together here with this 251. It's 50% from December. Okay. And then when you add those two together, you get your total payment for the month. Okay? Ish. Yeah, no, today I've earned my salary. Okay? All right. And then obviously, again, we do the exact same thing for February and for March. Okay? I hope that made sense for everybody. Okay? I think I need to sleep more. Because it made sense when I went over the exercise. Believe it or not, Ash. Believe it or not. All right. Okay. So everybody happy now with how we got our schedule for payments? Everybody happy? Okay.
I just think this could be a really big test.
Woo.
If you don't read nicely.
Yeah. No, but I think this is why we need to make sure we practice. And we practice more than the exercises that we're doing together.
And we expect all of these.
Yeah, I expect all of them. I expect all of them. But this would be a typical test or exam question because it's not that long. Once you get the schedules out, it's not that long. Plug and play. So again, once we've done that, we can then go into our cash budget. All right. And I've obviously just plugged in the amounts. And now I think we can go through our, what's this, 0.5 section. All right. Operating expenses are projected as follows. Okay. So you have salaries and wages, 12% of sales paid in the month of the sale. Okay, so salaries and wages is 12%. So can somebody calculate for me? What is 12%?
100.
Okay. Second. Okay, just gonna keep that nearby. Okay, all right. Yeah. So Ash, you were saying how much
I did one for December.
for December?
Yeah.
Okay, but we need the one for January because we're doing January too.
80.
80.
352.
352. Any sense? Okay. February. Anybody got the one for February?
107.
107.
136.
136. And you guys are confirming this. You're happy with the amounts being shared, ne? Okay. Right. And then the last one, March.
93.
93.
744.
744. Okay. So here with this type of questions, what you actually realize is the real heavy lifting is the schedules, because they can bring them different ways. Okay. But once you get to this point, it's just plug and play. Other expenses at an average of 10% of sales paid in the month of the sale.
66.
960. Okay. Next month.
89.
89.
280.
280. All right, and then the last one.
781.
781.
20.
20. Okay. Is everybody happy? Everybody happy so far? Okay. Then the next one, it says cash receipts expected from repayment of a loan to a employee is 22,330 due in March. Okay. Repayment of a loan to an employee. Okay, so here loan repayment would then obviously go under expected receipts. And we know that is in March only. 22,320. Okay, happiness there. Then the next one says repayment of long-term loans due at 14,880 each in January, March, and in January and March. Okay, so it's only January and March. Okay, repayment of long-term loan, and that was how much again? 14,000. 14,880. Okay. Next one, it says a new refrigerator was purchased for 178,560, and 4 payments of 44,640 each are due in February, March, April, and May. Okay, are we concerned with April and May?
No.
All right, so we just need to plug it in for February and March. 44. 640. Thank you. 44. 640. Okay. Then what's the next one? It says depreciation on all equipment is written off at a rate of 21,000 per month.
They always add depreciation to trick us.
Yes.
So they did it yesterday.
To trick you guys. And why are we not including depreciation? It's not a cash sale.
We're not
Or
physically losing the money.
Expense. Yeah, we're not physically losing the money. Both of you are right, 100%. Okay, So we ignore that for a cash budget. If we were in the income statement, if they said do an abbreviated income statement or something to that effect, we know that depreciation is something we need to account for. Okay? Something we need to account for. Then, next one. A bonus of 105,300. Oh, thank you for that. Interest income from an investment of 18,228 per month is expected. Okay, so that's per month. 18,228. 228. Okay. Right, and now we can get to the bonus. A bonus of 105,300 is due to staff in January. Hey, that would go a long way. A bonus in January. Yo, I need to go work where these guys work. All right.
They might not get one in like August or September.
That's fine. Usually we're okay that time.
Oh,
January.
okay.
January. Hey. December does a number on all of us.
You receive both your salaries and you use it like it's both your salaries.
Yeah, no. I need to find a place to hide. 15 December there. When both those. Ish. Yeah, we must put the phone on flight mode. And then we'll be fine. I didn't say anything to that effect. The company must pay tax to SARS in March 2008, 52,080 rand. 52,080. All right, and I know we all know how to plus and minus, so we should be able to get to those totals that we have as closing balance. And then one thing that I should highlight again, yes, the closing balance for 1 month. In other words, this January closing balance is February's opening cash balance. February's closing balance is March's opening balance, and so forth and so on. Right. Are there any questions? Yebo? Go up. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So I think at this juncture, let's take a break. Then when we get back, we will do 1.8.
That wasn't homework, but we have to read over it. So I just want to put it out there.
It was